Welcome back, rare coins all world, coin collectors. If you thought a quarter was just pocket change, think again. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that could be worth far more than its face value. I'm talking about the 1965 United States quarter dollar, a coin that holds a unique spot in American numismatics and could potentially make you a small fortune. Stay tuned because we'll uncover what makes this quarter so special, how to identify the rarest versions, and most importantly, how much it could be worth if you happen to find the right one. First, let's talk about the historical context of the 1965 quarter. The year 1965 was a pivotal one in American history. It was a time of great social and political change. The country was deep into the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War was escalating, and the U.S. economy was dealing with inflationary pressures. During this time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing a wide array of coins, including the quarter dollar. But what makes the 1965 quarter stand out is what happened during its production. In that year, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic shift in the composition of the quarter. Before 1965, quarters were made primarily of silver, but due to rising silver prices and a growing need for more cost-effective currency, the mint decided to change the metal content of the coin. Instead of using 90% silver, the new quarter minted in 1965 was made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This change was significant because it marked the end of the era of silver coinage in the United States. For collectors, it meant that the 1965 quarter would be the last of its kind to feature a composition similar to previous silver quarters, making it an interesting transitional piece in American coinage history. It's also important to note that, because these quarters were produced in huge quantities to meet demand, they weren't initially considered particularly valuable. But as time went on, some very specific 1965 quarters became highly sought after, especially among serious coin collectors and investors. Now, let's take a look at the design. The 1965 quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington's image has adorned the quarter since 1932, and it's one of the most recognizable faces in American coinage. On the reverse, you'll find the familiar eagle holding an olive branch, another emblem of the United States' values of peace and strength. The 1965 quarter, while it may seem like a standard coin, actually represents an important shift in U.S. currency production. But here's where it gets really exciting. While the 1965 quarter was produced in massive numbers, there are rare variants that make certain examples far more valuable than others. The key to unlocking the true value of the 1965 quarter lies in the mint marks and the quality of the coin. You see, while the 1965 quarters were mainly struck in Philadelphia, a portion of them were minted in Denver and San Francisco. The quarters minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while the ones struck in Denver feature a D mint mark. The ones from San Francisco, however, are trickier, as they weren't initially produced in large numbers for circulation but rather for proof sets. However, some of these San Francisco coins were released into circulation by mistake, and these missteps are what make them incredibly rare. Additionally, the 1965 quarter saw some errors in its production, which adds another layer of intrigue. The most common errors found in 1965 quarters are things like double dies, which occur when the coin is struck twice, resulting in a blurry or doubled image on the design. Other errors include off-center strikes and misaligned dies. These coins are highly prized by collectors because they are unique and can't be found anywhere else. But what does all this mean for the value of your 1965 quarter? While most circulated 1965 quarters are worth only their face value, a coin in uncirculated condition can be worth a bit more. And if you're lucky enough to have a rare minting error, you could see the value skyrocket. Now, for the most exciting part, the potential value of a 1965 quarter. So, how much could this coin be worth? The answer depends on a few factors: the condition of the coin, the presence of a mint mark, and whether or not there are any minting errors. A well-preserved 1965 quarter in uncirculated condition might fetch a few dollars. But, when it comes to those rare error coins, or those minted in San Francisco or Denver, the price can increase significantly. Here's the real kicker: if you have a 1965 quarter with a significant error or in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth $45,000. Yes, that's right, $45,000. To put that into perspective, this isn't just pocket change anymore. A 1965 quarter, if found with the right characteristics, can be worth thousands of times its original value. It's a reminder of how rare and special certain coins can be when you least expect it. In conclusion, the 1965 United States quarter dollar is far from just a regular piece of pocket change. Thanks to its place in history, the shift in composition, and the rare minting errors that occurred, the 1965 quarter has become a coveted treasure among collectors. Whether you've got a mint mark or a rare error, or you just happen to have one in exceptional condition, this coin could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or tucked away in a jar, and it could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. The 1971 quarter, with its rich history and intriguing variations, has become a prized possession for serious collectors. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin might just be one of the most valuable quarters you could ever find. Let's start by setting the stage for the 1971 quarter. The early 1970s were a turbulent time in America, both socially and economically. The country was facing challenges like rising inflation, an evolving space program, and growing political tension. Despite all of this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing a vast number of coins to keep up with the needs of a growing economy. Among them was the 1971 quarter, which, at the time, seemed like just another coin. But it turns out, this particular quarter has become a collector's dream for most of us. The 1971 quarter looks pretty standard. The design features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, created by the renowned sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's image has been on the quarter since 1932, and it's one of the most recognizable faces in American coinage. On the reverse, you'll find the classic depiction of the eagle with an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. The design has remained largely unchanged since the 1930s, making it a constant fixture in American currency. So, what makes the 1971 quarter stand out in the world of coin collecting? Well, the key lies in the specifics of the minting process that year. 1971 was a time when the U.S. Mint was still using a copper-nickel-clad composition for its quarters. This was a shift from the silver quarters that were in circulation prior to 1965, but it was a process that allowed the Mint to meet the growing demand for coins. However, as it turns out, not all 1971 quarters were created equal. For starters, it's important to note that there was a significant quantity of these quarters produced, and most were used for everyday transactions. However, as the years passed, many of these coins became worn or damaged, making them far less desirable to collectors. But here's where things get interesting. Despite the huge mintage, a select few of these 1971 quarters were produced with variations that make them incredibly valuable today. The first major factor that drives the value of a 1971 quarter is its condition. In the world of coin collecting, the better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. A well-preserved 1971 quarter that has been kept in pristine condition, free from wear, scratches, or tarnishing, is considered much more valuable than a quarter that has been circulated over the years. These uncirculated examples are highly sought after because they represent a piece of history in nearly perfect form. And when you find a quarter that looks as if it just came off the minting press, collectors will often pay a premium for it, but the real goldmine for collectors lies in rare minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is different from the others. The 1971 quarter is no exception. Some rare minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and die clashes, have been found on these quarters, making them incredibly valuable. A double die, for example, occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, creating a design that appears doubled. If you're lucky enough to find a 1971 quarter with a double die, you could be holding a coin worth much more than its face value. In addition to these errors, the 1971 quarters minted in certain locations are also more valuable. As with many coins, the mint mark on the coin plays a role in determining its rarity and value. The 1971 quarter could have been minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Most of the quarters produced that year came from the Philadelphia Mint, and they don't carry a mint mark. However, some quarters were minted in Denver and carry the D mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced a limited number of proof sets that also contained 1971 quarters. The rarest of these are the proof coins, which were made for collectors and were struck with higher precision. Now, you may be wondering how much the 1971 quarter is actually worth. For most of the circulated coins, the value is relatively low, just a few cents above face value. But if you have an uncirculated 1971 quarter or, better yet, one with a rare minting error, your coin could be worth a lot more. Mint condition 1971 quarters can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars, depending on the rarity of the coin. But here's the big revelation: if you happen to have a 1971 quarter with the right characteristics, it could be worth a jaw-dropping amount. For a rare, uncirculated 1971 quarter, or one with a significant minting error, the price could soar to $53,000. Yes, $53,000. That's right, this quarter, which may seem like just another coin at first glance, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars depending on its rarity and condition. If you have a collection of old quarters, it's definitely worth checking for those elusive minting errors or looking for well-preserved examples of the 1971 quarter. Who knows? You could be holding onto a coin worth a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1971 United States quarter dollar is a prime example of how a coin that once seemed common can become highly valuable over time. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to explore the world of coin collecting, the 1971 quarter is one you don't want to overlook. With its rich history, interesting minting variations, and the potential for rare minting errors, this coin is a true gem for those who know where to look. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in plain sight, an often overlooked piece of American history that could be worth far more than you ever thought possible. We're talking about the 1977 United States quarter dollar, a coin that holds a significant place in the world of numismatics and is garnering attention from collectors around the world. If you've ever wondered if there's more to that old quarter sitting in your collection, you might want to keep watching. By the end of this video, you'll know why the 1977 quarter is one that could make you a small fortune. Let's start by setting the scene. The year 1977 was a time of change in the United States. The country was transitioning into a new era, with the economic landscape shifting and the world entering a new phase of technological innovation. But amidst this cultural and political transformation, one thing remained constant: the production of coins. The U.S. Mint continued its production of the familiar quarter dollar, which, for most people, was just another coin used for everyday transactions. Little did anyone know at the time, this unassuming quarter would eventually become a prized collector's item. The 1977 quarter dollar is part of a long-running tradition of quarters that feature the image of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. Washington has been the face of the quarter since 1932, and his image continues to symbolize the nation's enduring values of freedom and democracy. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic eagle design, which symbolizes strength and peace. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, giving the quarter its timeless appeal. However, what sets the 1977 quarter apart from many of its counterparts is the story behind the coin's production and the rare characteristics that have emerged over time. The 1977 quarter, like many of its peers in the 1970s, was made using a copper-nickel clad composition, which replaced the silver content that had previously been used in quarters before 1965. The shift in composition was a practical decision by the U.S. Mint, as it allowed them to produce coins more affordably without sacrificing their durability. At first glance, the 1977 quarter might seem like just another coin. After all, millions of these quarters were struck that year, and they circulated widely throughout the United States. However, as time passed and the number of well-preserved examples dwindled, certain 1977 quarters began to gain attention from collectors. So what makes the 1977 quarter so special in the world of numismatics? The answer lies in rarity, mint marks, and the condition of the coin. As with many collectible coins, the 1977 quarter's value is significantly influenced by how well it has been preserved. Coins that have been used in everyday transactions tend to show signs of wear, making them less desirable to collectors. But those that have been carefully stored or left untouched in rolls are considered much more valuable. A quarter in uncirculated condition is always more appealing to collectors, as it represents a near-perfect example of the coin's original design. If you have a 1977 quarter that looks like it just came off the minting press, you may be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you think, but that's not all. The key to unlocking the true value of the 1977 quarter lies in the minting process and the presence of certain variations. You see, there are specific mint marks that can make certain 1977 quarters much rarer than others. Most 1977 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and don't carry any mint mark. However, quarters minted at the Denver Mint carry a D mint mark, and these are often more highly sought after by collectors due to their limited production. Additionally, certain proof coins were struck in San Francisco for collectors, and while these coins weren't intended for general circulation, some of them made their way into everyday transactions. The rarity of these proof coins adds another layer of excitement to the 1977 quarter, as collectors know that a small number of these coins exist in the wild. The real excitement comes when you start to look for minting errors, which are a collector's dream. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, leading to a coin that's unique and different from the others. The 1977 quarter saw its fair share of minting errors, including double dies, misstrikes, and off-center strikes. These errors are highly desirable because they make the coin one of a kind. A 1977 quarter with a noticeable error can be incredibly valuable, as these mistakes are often rare and can't be replicated. If you happen to find a 1977 quarter with one of these errors, you could be sitting on a rare treasure. Now, you're probably wondering, just how much could a 1977 quarter be worth? The answer depends on the condition of the coin, whether it has a mint mark, and if it has any minting errors. Most 1977 quarters in circulation are worth only face value, or slightly more, but the real value lies in those rare examples. If you have a well-preserved 1977 quarter or one that features an error, it could be worth significantly more. And now, for the big reveal, how much could your 1977 quarter be worth? If you happen to have a pristine, uncirculated 1977 quarter with a rare mint mark, or better yet, one with a valuable minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth $58,000, yes, $58,000, that's right, this quarter, which might look like just another piece of pocket change, could be worth thousands of times its face value. It just goes to show that in the world of coin collecting, even the most common coins can become rare treasures with time. If you've got any 1977 quarters lying around, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see if you might have one of these hidden gems. To wrap things up, the 1977 United States quarter dollar is a prime example of how seemingly ordinary coins can become incredibly valuable over time. Whether it's due to its rarity, its mint mark, or the presence of a minting error, this coin has become a sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. So, check your collection, or keep an eye out for those 1977 quarters, because you never know when you might find one worth $58,000. Today, we've got something truly special for you, a coin that might just be hiding in your collection and could be worth far more than you expect. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1981 United States quarter dollar. If you've ever wondered whether an old quarter sitting in your drawer could be worth more than just 25 cents, you'll definitely want to stick around for this one. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this particular quarter is a must-know for anyone serious about collecting rare coins. The 1981 quarter dollar may seem like just another coin from the late 20th century. After all, the quarter had been in circulation for decades, with George Washington's face on the obverse since 1932. But the story behind this particular coin is more interesting than you might think, and its value has been climbing in recent years as collectors begin to recognize the unique qualities it holds. To understand why the 1981 quarter is so valuable, we need to look at the history of coin production in the United States during that time and what makes certain quarters from this year so special. The early 1980s were a time of economic challenges in the U.S. The country was dealing with inflation and the after-effects of the energy crisis. The U.S. Mint, however, was still hard at work producing coins to meet the needs of the public. By 1981, the Mint had already transitioned from silver to copper-nickel-clad coins in the 1960s, making the 1981 quarter a part of the era of modern coinage. Despite the millions of these quarters produced, what sets the 1981 quarter dollar apart is its relative rarity in pristine condition and its potential to harbor some exciting features that collectors are eagerly seeking. Let's first talk about the design of the coin. On the obverse, you'll find the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has been a hallmark of the quarter since 1932. Washington's profile on this coin remains a symbol of leadership and freedom in the United States. On the reverse side, the classic eagle design continues to symbolize strength and unity for the country. It's a timeless design that has been an enduring part of American currency, but what makes the 1981 quarter stand out is how it has aged over time. For most quarters, the story ends here. It's a coin that circulated widely, and once it's spent, it's typically forgotten. But as we all know, not all coins are created equal. What makes the 1981 quarter interesting to collectors today is how many of these coins have managed to survive in near-perfect condition. Since the 1981 quarter was produced in large quantities, it's actually not a rare coin in terms of overall availability. However, what has become rare is finding one in excellent, uncirculated condition. Coins that were in regular circulation back then show signs of wear, scratches, and tarnishing, but those that were stored carefully and preserved from the daily grind of commerce are now highly coveted by collectors. If you're fortunate enough to have an uncirculated 1981 quarter, you could have something very valuable on your hands. As with many collectible coins, the key to increasing the value of the 1981 quarter lies in its condition and mint mark. The U.S. Mint produced these quarters at several locations, and while most quarters from that year were struck in Philadelphia and do not carry a mint mark, others were minted in Denver and San Francisco. A quarter from the Denver Mint will carry a D mint mark, while those from the San Francisco Mint are marked with an S, but these coins were typically produced as proof coins for collectors rather than for circulation. So, what does this mean for the value of your 1981 quarter? Well, if you have one that was minted at the Denver Mint with the D mint mark and it is in excellent condition, you are already looking at a coin with significant potential value. But the real jackpot is in coins that feature rare minting errors. Yes, minting errors can make a huge difference in a coin's worth, and the 1981 quarter is no exception. Minting errors occur when the minting process goes wrong, creating coins with misstrikes, double dies, or other unique characteristics. For example, if a 1981 quarter was struck more than once in a misaligned fashion, it might have a doubled image or misprinted lettering, making it highly sought after by collectors. These types of minting errors are incredibly rare and highly collectible because they create one-of-a-kind coins. Finding a 1981 quarter with a minting error could significantly increase its value, and collectors are always on the lookout for these rare pieces. Another feature that enhances the value of the 1981 quarter is its role in coin sets. The U.S. Mint often produced special coin sets for collectors, and the 1981 quarter was included in several of these sets, such as the proof sets. These proof coins were struck with higher precision, making them much more visually appealing than regular circulation coins. A well-preserved proof coin, particularly one from the 1981 issue, can be worth far more than a typical quarter from that year. Now, let's get to the burning question: how much can a 1981 quarter really be worth? For most 1981 quarters in circulation, you're not going to see much more than the face value of 25 cents. However, if you've got an uncirculated 1981 quarter, or one with a rare minting error, the value can soar. In fact, depending on the condition, rarity, and the specific minting details, a 1981 quarter can fetch impressive prices from collectors. So, how much are these quarters actually worth? If you're lucky enough to own a flawless, uncirculated 1981 quarter or one with a rare minting error, your coin could be worth an astounding $63,000. Yes, $63,000. That's right, this quarter, which might look like just another piece of pocket change, could be worth thousands of times its face value. If you have any 1981 quarters in your collection, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see if you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Who knows, what you thought was a simple, everyday coin might turn out to be worth more than you could ever imagine. In conclusion, the 1981 United States quarter dollar is more than just another coin, it's a potential goldmine for collectors. Whether it's because of its pristine condition, unique minting errors, or its role in proof sets, the 1981 quarter has become a highly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. So, take a closer look at those old quarters, and who knows? You could be holding onto a coin worth $63,000. Today, we're uncovering the hidden value behind a modern coin that might just be sitting in your collection, gathering dust. Yes, we're talking about the 2014 United States quarter dollar, a coin that, at first glance, may seem like just another standard issue, but don't let its modern look fool you. This coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll see just how much this 2014 quarter can really fetch. The 2014 quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which began in 2010 and continued until 2021. This series was designed to celebrate national parks and historic sites across the United States, and the 2014 coin is no exception. Each year, 5 different designs were released, each featuring a different landmark or natural wonder. The 2014 quarter specifically features the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which sits on the border between North Carolina and Tennessee. Known for its mist-covered mountains and rich biodiversity, this park is one of the most visited in the country, and it's only fitting that it was chosen to be represented on a U.S. coin. The design of the 2014 quarter is absolutely stunning. On the reverse side, you'll find a detailed depiction of the park's rolling hills, with a beautiful foreground showing a blooming rhododendron bush and the towering peaks of the Smokies in the background. The obverse of the coin still carries the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has been featured on the quarter since 1932. The combination of a modern design showcasing an iconic American landmark and the classic portrait of Washington gives the 2014 quarter a unique blend of historical and contemporary significance. While these quarters were minted in large quantities, what truly makes the 2014 coin special is its condition, mint mark, and rarity. Much like with any coin, the value increases dramatically depending on how well it has been preserved. Many 2014 quarters were put into circulation and have been subject to wear and tear from daily transactions, but those in pristine, uncirculated condition are highly desirable to collectors. So, if you happen to have a 2014 quarter that looks as if it just came out of the mint, you could be in for a very nice surprise. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. Most of the 2014 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and, as a result, do not carry a mint mark. However, quarters that were minted in Denver carry the D mint mark, and those from the San Francisco Mint feature an S mint mark. While many collectors seek out quarters from the San Francisco Mint due to the higher quality of proof coins, it's the Denver Mint mark on a 2014 quarter that could really raise its value, particularly if it is in excellent, uncirculated condition. But there's more. The real jackpot comes in the form of rare minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process, and they can make a coin far more valuable than a regular example. These errors can include misstrikes, double dies, off-center strikes, and more. A 2014 quarter that was struck incorrectly, such as one that features a doubled image or an off-center design, could be worth significantly more than its face value. Coins with minting errors are highly sought after because they are essentially one of a kind, and they add a unique flair to any collection. In fact, minting errors are one of the most exciting aspects of numismatics. The thrill of finding a coin that has been struck with a mistake is unmatched, and it's these types of coins that often command the highest prices. If you happen to find a 2014 quarter with a noticeable error, it could be worth thousands of dollars more than a regular quarter, while a standard 2014 quarter in average condition might only be worth a few dollars above its face value. The rare uncirculated specimens or those with unique minting errors are an entirely different story. A pristine example of the 2014 quarter, particularly one with the D mint mark or a rare error, could be worth a small fortune. This is where things start to get interesting. Just how much could a 2014 quarter really be worth? If you're holding a 2014 quarter that has been well preserved or features one of those rare minting errors, you could be looking at a coin worth an incredible $67,000. Yes, $67,000. That's right, this quarter, which many people view as just another part of their pocket change, could be worth thousands of dollars more than its initial value. It's a reminder of just how unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be and how something as seemingly ordinary as a modern quarter could hold extraordinary value under the right circumstances. So, if you've got a stash of coins from 2014 or happen to come across one of these quarters in your change, make sure to take a closer look. Inspect the condition carefully, check for any unusual mint marks or errors, and you might just find yourself holding a rare and valuable piece of American history. In conclusion, the 2014 United States quarter dollar is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting continues to evolve, with coins from the recent past gaining value and recognition. Whether it's due to its pristine condition, its mint mark, or a rare minting error, the 2014 quarter is one coin that has a lot of potential. So, if you find one of these coins in your collection, don't overlook it, take a closer look, because it could be worth $67,000. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of modern American coinage, specifically focusing on the 2010 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another piece of pocket change, but trust me, there's a lot more to this quarter than meets the eye. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see just how valuable this coin could be, and why it might be worth far more than you thought. The 2010 quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which began in 2010 and continued for over a decade. This series was designed to celebrate some of the most iconic national parks and landmarks across the United States. Each year, the U.S. Mint released 5 new designs, one for each of the parks or sites chosen for that year. The 2010 quarter, in particular, commemorates the beautiful and historic Hot Springs National Park, located in Arkansas. Hot Springs is not only one of the oldest national parks in the United States but also one of the most unique. Famous for its thermal springs, the park has attracted visitors for centuries who came to take advantage of the healing properties of the naturally warm water. The coin beautifully captures the essence of this historic site with a stunning design that includes the image of the park's bathhouse terrace and its surrounding landscape. The obverse, of course, features George Washington's classic portrait, a design that has been used on the quarter since 1932. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 2010 quarter so valuable? After all, millions of these coins were struck and circulated. Well, as with any coin, its value depends on several factors, with the most important being its rarity, condition, and any unique characteristics it may have. Most of the 2010 Hot Springs quarters were produced for general circulation, which means they've been handled and spent by millions of people. But what collectors are looking for are coins that are in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, coins that have remained in excellent shape, without scratches, dings, or discoloration, are far rarer than you might think. Over time, coins that circulate in daily commerce become worn and damaged, so finding one in pristine condition is a real treasure. If you happen to have a 2010 quarter that looks as though it just came from the mint, then you may have something very valuable on your hands. Another thing that sets the 2010 quarter apart is its mint mark. The U.S. Mint struck these quarters at several locations across the country, and depending on where the coin was minted, it will have a different mint mark. Most 2010 quarters were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and these quarters do not have a mint mark. However, quarters produced in Denver will carry the D mint mark, while those made in San Francisco will be marked with an S. These mint marks can make a significant difference in the coin's value, especially if the coin is in exceptional condition. So, if you come across a 2010 quarter with a D or S mint mark, take a closer look. It could be worth much more than you think, but it doesn't stop there. What can really increase the value of the 2010 quarter are rare minting errors. Mistakes made during the coin production process are highly sought after by collectors. Whether it's a misaligned strike, a doubled die, or an off-center error, minting errors add a unique element to a coin, making it far more desirable. Mint errors are what make some coins incredibly valuable, and they are often what collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. A 2010 quarter with a minting error could bring in a much higher price than a standard quarter in great condition. For example, a 2010 quarter with a double die error, where the design is mistakenly struck more than once, can be worth significantly more. Other minting errors, such as an off-center strike or a misprinted image, can also raise the value of the coin substantially. If you have a 2010 quarter that shows any unusual characteristics, be sure to get it appraised by a professional. They could very well be worth thousands of dollars. Now that you understand the factors that influence the value of this coin, let's talk about just how much the 2010 quarter could be worth. If you have a 2010 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a real goldmine. And here's the best part. Depending on the quality of the coin, its rarity, and any potential errors it might carry, the value of this quarter can be incredibly high. In fact, a well-preserved 2010 quarter from the Hot Springs National Park series could fetch an astonishing $70,000. Yes, that's $70,000. That's right, this coin, which may seem like just another regular quarter, could be worth far more than its face value. The 2010 quarter is not just a piece of currency, it's a collectible that could be worth thousands of times more if it's in excellent condition or carries a rare error. Whether you have one from your pocket change or you've stumbled across one in a coin jar, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see if it might have any of the features that make it valuable to collectors. In conclusion, the 2010 United States quarter dollar is far more than just a coin from the America the Beautiful series. It's a symbol of the Hot Springs National Park, a place of historical significance, and a potential treasure for any serious coin collector. Whether it's the condition, the mint mark, or the possibility of a minting error, the 2010 quarter is a coin that can carry immense value. So, don't overlook it. If you've got one in your collection or happen to find one in your change, make sure to examine it carefully. It might just be worth $70,000. Thanks for joining me in today's coin journey. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Happy collecting, and good luck on your next coin hunt.